Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as y'all know, sports in the NBA, but sports in general, is all about narratives. The person who creates the narrative can literally alter reality and the way people see things. It is just the truth. It is just the truth. And there is one narrative that has been floating around the NBA for the last few years. And that narrative is this: the talent in the NBA today is greater than it has ever been. And the competition today is at an all-time high. These are two narratives. These are pervasive. It's one of the reasons you saw JJ Redick call these guys plumbers and all of this. And then, Bob Cousy and Jerry West had to basically OG check him like, yo, wait up. What's going on here? Right? And there are two reasons, in my personal opinion, that this narrative exists. The first reason is to make this current NBA players, this current crop of NBA players, feel better about themselves. That's number one. And number two, in my personal, honest opinion, is to prop up LeBron James. That is absolutely what I think. However, it seems like there are some current players in the NBA that are beginning to come out and basically expose this myth that this current NBA is the greatest it has ever been. So what we want to do is we want to quickly play an audio of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Luka Doncic basically talking about what it's like to play in this current NBA, and also juxtapose it. This current NBA, we're playing in the EuroLeague. So take a listen to this here, and then we're going to come back and unpack this. Take a listen to that.
First of all, the game in Europe is way harder than the game in the NBA. And I don't want to disrespect the talent. Obviously, in the NBA, it's way higher. But the space is just, you have a lot of lanes to drive the ball, a lot of lanes to create. It's just, I think over there is more intense. Like people pick you up full court, double team you, full court zone, to man to the last 5 second double teams from the start from zone, and then they go man to man the last 10 seconds, and then the double team in the post. There's no lanes to drive. Like, it's just the more physical. Because I don't know if it's because the talent's less and you have to be, kind of be more physical to catch up with that, but like it's harder.
So you think it's harder to score 30 points in a EuroLeague game than it is in an NBA game?
Yeah, 100%.
But there's better players over here.
Oh, way better players. Yeah. I'm just saying because of the rules.
Yeah.
Because the guy can stay. If you have a guy like, let's say, Rudy Gobert, he can stay in the paint on defense 3 seconds, however he wants. Like, just because of that rule, you can have 10 more points easily.
So you heard what Giannis and Luka had to say here. Here's the truth about the matter. The NBA was tougher to play in the 80s and the 90s simply because of the rules. And Draymond Green recently on the Draymond Green Show, on the volume or whatever it is, I think he unwittingly exposed this himself when he tried to compare the 2017 Golden State Warriors to the 98 Bulls. One of the reasons he believed that the Warriors would win was because of the current freedom of movement. He was basically, analyzing the lack of spacing that the 98 Chicago Bulls had to play with, right? These were some of the points that he was talking about, and I think he was basically juxtaposing that style of play with the current style of play in the NBA today, and basically saying that, what is it? The Golden State Warriors would beat them. Now, if you were to put that same Warriors team against the 97, 98, whatever it is, 96 Chicago Bulls in that era, in my personal opinion, they will get smashed by the Chicago Bulls. That's what I think. I think all of those guys would get suffocated and stifled. And I'll tell you why. I believe that. We actually have evidence of this. Just these last playoffs, Kevin Durant was a part of the Golden State Warriors, played against, and Kyrie Irving, by the way, played against the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics were basically allowed to play 90s style defense against the Brooklyn Nets. And what happened? Kevin Durant and these guys were stifled by those guys. KD had no wiggle room, no airspace, nothing. And people were like, what is going on here? Essentially, what you saw happen to KD is what would happen to him, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, on a much, much, much higher level. Why? Because the defenders that those Chicago Bulls had are actually much better defenders than the defenders that were on this Boston Celtics team. This is undisputable information here. It's not even worth discussing. It's not worth discussing. That's number one. Number two, if you put Michael Jordan in this current era and you said, Jordan, 96 Jordan, go play against the Golden State, the 2017 Golden State Warriors, that Michael Jordan would average 45 points a game in that series. 45, there would be nobody to stop him. Nobody. That's one of the points. And since the Golden State Warriors are not an interior team, meaning they don't have an interior presence, there's somebody that they can dump the ball into, like a Shaq or Joel Embiid, one of these guys to score out of the post, they would actually be playing into the strengths of the Chicago Bulls. Why? Because the Bulls had length, they had athleticism, and they would give them fits. You had Ron Harper, you had Michael Jordan, you had Scottie Pippen, you had Dennis Rodman. You already heard what Dennis Rodman said he would do to Draymond Green. He said he would have him eating out of his hands or what is it, or something like this. And of course, they would have Michael Jordan, who would be the best player in that series by 10 miles. Not even 20, by 25 miles. They would have the most clutch player in that series in Michael Jordan. They would have the better coach in that series in Phil Jackson. And the Warriors would have to go hire Mark Jackson again because Steve Kerr is going to be coming off the bench. He will be coming off the bench, and you would see, it's a shame we can't see it, but you would see the distance between a prime Jordan and a prime LeBron James. And that distance will be the distance between heaven and earth. It would be that big of a difference. So even the best players in this NBA today think these current rules are a joke. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you all on the next episode.